If you could go back to the night that Tupac was shot in Vegas, what do you think should have happened to avoid that incident from happening?
We just shouldn't have went to Vegas. I just wish that day would have ended how I guess the video Toss It Up day started. Where Pac showed up late and it didn't look like it was gonna happen. I wish he wouldn't have shown up to the video set, and maybe it would have gotten pushed back. We wouldn't have went to Vegas, or I mean, just wish we didn't go on that fucking road. What could have been done different? We always wore bulletproof vests. Obviously, I guess he should have been protected better. But nobody knew, like, even on that road, on the way to Vegas, nobody knew that was gonna be the last time, or that somebody would even think about touching Pac. I guess that was in the plans for Pac. You know what I mean? And look what it blossomed into. Like, such a legend. Like, a rose, like he say, from a concrete jungle. Like, look what it turned into. I've been many places, man, and, Pac is loved worldwide. And I just think that was his journey. The journey, being there death row such a short time, and such a short lifespan. Like, I guess that was his journey, and he fulfilled what needed to be done. Like, 'cause that's the only way I could look at death. I lost enough people in my life to kind of feel how this death thing goes. It's just not something that we may want to understand, but that's the plan.
Yeah, man, and I seen an interview Suge Knight did, on Showtime, the American Dream, American Nightmare documentary, and he said that at first Tupac wanted to name his album Euthanasia, and he said that he was actually the one behind Tupac changing the name and calling it All Eyes on Me.
I could believe that, man. That's the kind of shit Suge did. That's what he was there for. I could believe that. And we seen on some writings, it was written, like some of the notes that Pac was doing, that was the name of some of the stuff that he's putting down. How the All Eyes on Me came, I don't know if it came after the single or whatever it was, but I could believe that. That's what Suge was good at doing. Coming up with these big ass ideas. I sat and watched him talk and be like, yeah, man, we're going to take this shit. And he had big dreams, big things in his mind that he, seen that death row should be doing. And some of those things I seen him do.
Yeah, he also said in that same documentary that Tupac never had any real friends or homies until he got to death row. How you feel about him saying that?
I mean, all of us claim to be some other better friend when we're a friend. Showing your friendliness is it's about showing it. So that's Suge's opinion. I think it was a lot of dudes that came over with Pac and that he really loved and that really loved him as well. And, if it was based on how Suge's friendship is based on how I was treated, and it was like the same ship type shit, I don't believe that shit. I don't believe it. He's probably the best manipulating friend that Suge was probably his best manipulating friend. The one that was good at manipulation.
So you don't even think that Suge Knight was really Tupac's friend?
I don't know if Suge know how to be nobody's friend. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Everybody you call friends, and you know what I mean? He'll call you a son or brother and the shit that he do. Like, being friendly and saying that somebody is your friend, that's about showing. And he hasn't really proven really to be a friend. I got friends now that I've had since I was 5, 6 years old. We may not talk much, they still my friend. And he have people that he's been knowing probably since that same time that don't like him. That they're not friends now. So he haven't had a great record of showing friendship.
Mob James, man, I did an interview with Mob James, and he said that Suge Knight only gave Tupac Death Row East to keep him at Death Row. How you feel about him saying that?
So? Probably did. Wasn't that a good move? That's what labels do. Like certain shit just be like weird as shit. Yeah, you probably did give him the death, but the shit, like, what did he put a label out or an artist out? He didn't. It wasn't. Anybody can tell you anything and it don't mean shit. As I told you starting off, Suge told me he's gonna give me death row. So that's what he just said. It didn't mean shit.
Wait, he told you that? He said he was gonna give you death row?
I mean, I'm gonna run death. You gonna run death row? I'm gonna show you how to run death row. This gonna be your label, and I'm gonna sit back. Cause you my son. I want you to. You know, he was giving me all that bullshit game. And that's what kept me. That's what keep a dog at bay. Or like if you're a pimp and you got hoes, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, baby, we gonna get a new house. So you gotta just sell some more pussy. That's the kind of nigga you was. We gonna do this. He ain't do none of that shit. Give him a label don't mean shit. He ain't give him an opportunity to put it out. So he probably did. Probably did kind of like, oh yeah, because they was pushing the Death Row East hard.
Do you believe that Tupac was gonna lead Death Row? Because I did an interview with you before and you said you didn't, so you don't believe that, right?
Nah, man, I don't think he had an opportunity to see the raw Suge. Would he have signed back to Death Row after seeing how Suge was? No. Would they probably still been cool? Yeah. But I believe Pac was gonna be able to move on and be his own entity and his own business. I think that's what he was going towards. And he would have been able to carry that weight on his own. But like to say he's just gonna lead the label again, that's not how this shit work. You can't just be, I don't like my label, I'm leaving. That shit. You know how many artists would love to just lead their label? No.
I did an interview with Joelle, and she co-signed Keisha Cole's story, and she said that Tupac actually told her as well that he was going to lead Death Row. How you feel about Joelle saying that?
I also seen when Keisha Cole had a night show, I seen Joelle on there talking about the same shit. Like, they friends, I don't know. She believe, I don't know. People say they believe everybody that they want. Keisha Cole, so I guess that was weird. I don't know. I can't say, all of the conversations between that happened between Pac and Joelle. She probably was privy to a conversation like that. I've never, ever, ever had a feeling that he was unhappy. Never had a feeling. Never had a feeling. Yeah, I never got a feeling of Pac being, unhappy. Like I said, like from the time, I can, shit, man, you can damn near can pull them apart. I think Pac was living the time of his life. I don't even think the business even mattered. I don't think he even got enough to get, to see the business side. I think he was enjoying life for once. I think he was enjoying what came with the fucking business. The real fringe benefits. I think he had experienced the stuff that he did, but not like that in a Death Row way. When I tell you Suge rolled out the carpet VIP style for everything that he did. And Pac was like on top of the carpet when Suge was ready to roll it out. Suge kind of knew that that's who he was supposed to be catering to, and he did it well. So I don't think Pac would have had an opportunity to see, like, man, this dude full of shit. Because Suge was just, doing what he do. Putting this shit over his eyes. Cars, houses, jewelry, money, women, good times, boats, flights, trips. Nah, he didn't see it.
How do you think Snoop Dogg was feeling when all this was happening? Because it sounds like, from hearing you and just everybody I interviewed, it seems like Suge Knight was catering more to Tupac than Snoop. And, Snoop was the main one outside of Dr. Dre that, took, helped Dr. Dre, I mean, not Dr. Dre, but helped, Death Row come off the ground, man, and take off,
As I said, I'm sure every artist that was around there was jealous. Because everybody wanted that attention. But, you know, at a label, everybody, you know, when you look at artists, when they rolling out these different artists, everybody get their time. It was Pac time. And Pac just so happens to involve everybody that was around. He didn't have to go in the studio and put OFTB and Danny Boy and Fusky. He didn't have to put none of us on these records. But everybody that said that they were a part of Death Row, he made sure that they was busy and getting an opportunity to show who they were. So, like, those ain't signs of unhappiness. And to be able to cut records as easy as they were, and the shit that was, it was like the building you was in, hits was coming out of that building. Dr. Dre and Snoop warmed up the mic and warmed the movement up. You know, so I think all of us had a little jealousy because the attention was so much on him, but Snoop wasn't, probably then, you know, us being just young probably felt slighted, but wasn't a slight at all because Snoop had paved the way and done what he had done.
What was your relationship with Snoop and Dogg Pound? Because we all know you was a part of Suge Knight crew, and I think you expressed this before that, you know, they wasn't really messing around with you because of that. So just go into detail about that, yo.
They just never really messed with me like that, like ever. And I can't say that I was over there trying to, you know, be up under them like that neither. Like you know, Snoop was nice to me when he seen me and, you know, spoke and things like that. But I probably couldn't tell you a 10-minute conversation we had. We've been around each other numerous of times. But as far as the Dogg Pound, Corrupt, kind of act like we were cool at one point. Daz and I cut some records together. Like for my album, and he did a remix for me, and I thought he was a pretty cool dude. Like I said, I didn't know until later on that I wasn't liked. Yeah, I didn't know until late. You know, once I started hearing the interviews and hearing how they felt about me, it was like, damn. I didn't think they knew me enough to even say anything.
So the documentary Suge Knight did, American Dream, American Nightmare, the Showtime documentary, he said in that documentary that after Tupac got shot in Vegas, him and Tupac was laughing and joking in the BMW. He also said that Tupac was laughing and joking the entire way to the hospital. You believe that?
Wow. I heard him say that before. I can't imagine what that ride was like. So, I've heard Suge say that, like, not just out loud. I mean, you know, in front of other people. Like, that was a conversation that, you know, he said to me before. So, only people know that what happened in that car is Suge and Pop. And I hope Suge's not going as far as with these lies and, you know, his shit to just make up shit.
Right. I mean, because Tupac, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I think he got shot 4 times. I think one of the bullets went through his lung and shot off one of his fingers.
Or something like that, yeah.
You know, so I don't know, man. It sounds a little suspect.
Yeah,
when
you know,
think about it. But.
Somebody talking to you without a lung. It sounds a little movie, like it's in a movie. The end of the movie. Sound like I ain't mad at you. Like the concept of the video.
Right.
Like, yeah, he's talking on the way to the hospital. I don't know. You know, like I say, Suge always saying some shit, though, to put some extras on it and to get your attention. So, but again, the only people that was in that car that would know that is him.